Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make rainbow cupcakes perfect for Pride. So it's June, it's Pride month, which means everything is rainbow themed, which is my favorite because any excuse to do anything rainbow themed. And I thought to make some Pride cupcakes. So these are going to be funfetti cupcakes topped with a rainbow swirl and a couple of extra decorations, which I will show and explain in this tutorial. I'm going to whiz through my cupcake recipe because most of you know this already, but I am going to add a couple of differences. So I'm going to start off with some melted butter in my bowl, to which I'm going to add my sugar and mix it together until a thick paste has formed. So you can see that I'm using a whisk here. I'm not incorporating any air, I just want the ingredients to combine quickly. So when the butter and sugar have come together, you can add your eggs. And as usual, I've written the recipe in the description box below. So one of the extra ingredients I'm going to add to this batch is actually 50 ml of milk. So the recipe does work without milk just fine, but that added milk gives that little bit of fluffiness. You can mix that through straight away. And then in goes the flour. I'll carefully fold this in. And what I'm going to do is swap the whisk for a spatula, so I can make sure that all the ingredients are scraped from the edges and incorporated. And now for the fun bit, to add that extra rainbow element, some sprinkles. So I've got a couple of tablespoons of sprinkles in there, which I'm going to fold through the batter. So when adding sprinkles to a cake mix, you want quite vibrant ones, otherwise they just disappear in the batter. But you do also want ones that aren't too offensive to eat. So you don't want anything too big that will break your teeth if you eat the cupcake. So I find that these little balls are perfect. And now it's time to fill the cupcake tray. So I've lined my muffin tray with 12 paper cases, and I'm going to use an ice cream scoop to fill to ensure that they all get the same amount of batter. Now I know that for this scoop, it needs just above half to fill one case. And you want to fill about halfway. So one of my biggest tips when it comes to cupcake baking is you want to clean your tray before it goes in the oven if you have any spilled batter, because it's a lot easier to clean now when it's wet rather than it dried and burnt from the oven. So I'm just going to clean in between the cases. So now they're ready to bake. So these are going to take between 15 to 17 minutes in 165 degrees Celsius with a fan. So for the buttercream for my cupcakes, I decided to do a Swiss meringue buttercream because I want to be making meringue kisses for the decoration of the cupcakes. So what I've got is 50 grams extra egg white and 100 grams extra sugar in my bowl, heating up like I usually would for meringue or Swiss meringue buttercream. But it means I can take out an extra 150 grams of meringue to make some kisses with. So while I'm gently heating my egg white and sugar to 65 degrees Celsius, I'm going to prepare the piping bag for meringue kisses. Again, I have gone through this on my channel, so you can visit my meringue tutorial. But in order to pipe meringue kisses, I'm going to turn the bag inside out and place the piping bag upside down on a cup. I'm just going to quickly check on the egg whites heating up. And now I can paint the stripes of color. So I've got 5 different colors here. I'm going to get a paintbrush and paint the side of the piping bag. And as always, the top part of the bag is the important bit, not the bottom. So pink and blue, some yellow, some green, and some orange. Lift up the bag, reach inside for that triangle, and pull the bag back through so all the colors are on the inside. And now I can put the piping bag in the cup and pull the sides down. So meringue is up to temperature, which means I can put it on the whisk to get it to a nice stiff peak. So a beautiful, thick, glossy meringue is formed, which is exactly what we want. So now I can take out that extra 150 grams of meringue that's in here before I go in with the butter. Now obviously, if you add the butter now, the bowl is still too warm, so the butter's going to melt. So making meringue in between this stage is a really good trick to allow the meringue to cool even more. For this, I need my cup with a piping bag and some scales, so I can weigh exactly 150 grams of meringue. So I'm going to spoon out some meringue and place it directly into the cup. And now carefully lift up the bag to have all the meringue inside. Be a little bit sticky. There we go. And now I'm going to push that meringue through the bag to make sure the color gets on it. Now it will obviously only go down so much before I cut the end. And now I can cut off the end in a straight line. So once the bag is open at the end, I can stroke the meringue even further down the bag and I can see that it's picked up all that lovely color. And now time to pipe some kisses. And because these are going to sit on top of the cupcakes, I don't want them too big. Oh, the colors look beautiful. Wow, so you can see 150 grams of meringue gets you quite a lot of kisses. I prefer making many more than I actually need because it's a nice decoration as well and also a great treat, even if they're not for the cupcakes. So I'm going to bake these at 100 degrees Celsius for about an hour and then wait for my meringue to cool and finish off my buttercream too. So the cupcakes have baked to perfection. You're looking out for that slightly golden brown and they're all really even as well. And what I've done is finished off my buttercream, divided it into 5 different bowls and colored it pink, purple, blue, yellow and green. Now you can do even more colors than that and do all 7 colors of the rainbow, but I'm going to be putting all of those colors in the same piping bag, so I don't want to make it too full in there. So what I've got here is quite a large piping bag with an open star tip, and I'm going to place it in a cup because I want to be putting all of these colors in together. Place it in the glass and fold the side down. So these piping bags are quite narrow and I need some space, so I have extended it above the height of the cup. But now I can start placing in the buttercream. So it doesn't matter what color you go for, but just give it a mix at first to make sure it's extremely smooth. And then I'm going to take a spoonful of the green and push it along one side of the piping bag. Go in with another spoon. So it's sitting on the piping bag like this. Now I'm going to take the next color and do the exact same thing next to it. So let's go with the yellow now. And on the side of the bag. Some people fill multicolored piping bags using cling film, and I personally just find that a huge waste of cling film. But if you do that and it works for you, then do it. So I've got the blue here, and that will go next to the green. So I've kept it nice and open still. Now the purple. And then finally the pink. Now, as you can see, I've still got quite a large opening, so now I can go in with another spoonful of each color and fill that on top. I just wanted that initial division at first. Lift up the bag, give it a little shake. And so you can see that all the colors have gone into the bag, but they may not necessarily reach the end at the same time. So now I want to squash the colors and try and guide the colors through so they all reach the end at the same time. So I can see the purple needs a bit of helping, and the blue as well. What I like to do before going on to the cupcakes is do a couple of swirls off the cupcakes to make sure that all the colors are coming through. So I can use one of these bowls and just squeeze through until all the colors show. So they're all showing, which means it's time to pipe. So of course, I've allowed these cupcakes to cool 100% before even thinking of going on with buttercream. Otherwise, the slightest bit of heat will melt the buttercream. And it's much easier to decorate the cupcakes out of the tray. So I'm just going to take them out of the tray and place them on this cooling rack. And now I can pipe on a big fat swirl on top of them. So starting in the middle, squeezing a lot, going to the outside, coming in and flicking off. And you can see all the colors coming through. Can't get enough of a rainbow swirl. And what I like to do is slightly twist the bag each time to get one of the colors more dominant on every cupcake. So for example, it started off with the purple, now I've got the green. See what comes from this one. The blue and the green together. I'm gonna keep going until all the cupcakes are decorated. So time to finish the cupcakes now. So the meringues were cooking for an hour and then I left them to cool completely, and each one has cooked beautifully. So it's just another pop of color and they look perfect, just squashed in to the cupcake to one side. Ah, love it. It's also good to hide that flick on the top of the cupcake swirl. So that's where I usually aim to put them. So now for the added rainbow. So I've got these sugared belts which come in rainbow stripes. So I'm going to cut one into about 3 sections because they're a bit too long at the moment. I can curve it and stick it into the cupcake and it will hold its curved shape. So you get the rainbow effect. Wedged in that buttercream. And just for a finishing touch, I'm going to add some edible flowers to the side. I think they really give this elegant touch to the cupcakes. And then let these cupcakes shine with some edible glitter to make them magical and pop even more. I don't think you can get happier cupcakes than this. Wow, these came out so colorful. Oh, I love them. I think it's a perfect excuse, whether you're just doing a regular party, if it's rainbow themed, or indeed if you are celebrating Pride, try them out yourself. Don't forget you can find all my other recipes on my channel. And if you do try these out, then tag me in your creations because I'd love to see them, especially the cupcakes topped with the meringue kisses. Happy Pride if you are celebrating, and we'll see you soon with more tutorials.